and thanks again for tuning in. Today's video will consist of a shower build, bathtub surround. Now, as you know, and if you don't, any type of tile installation, you want to have your substrate flat as possible. Walls, floor, ceilings, and any application, you want it as flat as possible within industry standards. We're using a large format tile here, a 6x24. Now that doesn't sound big, but any tile over 15 inches is considered a large format tile. So with tolerances for that is 1/8 in 10 feet and 1/16 in 24 inches. So what I like to do on every project is check the substrate with a straight edge. What I'm using here today is a planer to shave down this stud to get it flat, and any other areas I like to build them out using drywall shims, which is essentially a flat piece of compressed cardboard. It's about a 1/16 inch thick, and I use staples to fasten that to the studs. If it's more than that, I can use lath, or I can add another 2x4 to the side and fasten that to that stud, and then we're good to go. Okay, now I'm ready to install my wallboard, and in this project we're using Laticrete Hydro Band Board. It's a waterproof board on the face. The core of it is a foam, and that's a close-out foam that's waterproof. And they have their waterproof membrane on the back as well. Now you can install this board either with the lettering out or in. It really doesn't matter either way. Now this board is a 3x5, and most times it's going to fit. Sometimes if the opening for the framing is a little bit smaller, so you have to trim it, but no big deal. Now we have the tub lip there, and this fastener is holding the tub from moving around. So what I like to do is place it on there and mark them and make the little notch out for that. Okay, now once I confirm the board is going to fit right where I want it, I'm going to mark the studs on the bottom on the board, so that way I don't lose where the board is in the bottom. Won't have to draw a line there. And then once I have that done, what I like to do with this board is bring it up a few inches like I'm doing right here and just fasten it right there. So with this board is essentially glued together with their sealant. Now when you go down to the tub, you apply a nice bead on top of that flange and you press the board into it. That's going to give you 100% waterproof seal there. Then once you get everything installed in the whole bathtub, you want to fill that gap where the tub lip is in the board with your sealant and make it nice and flat, and that's going to make it 100% waterproof. You won't get the mold in there years later or anything like that. So make sure you do that, and you should be good to go. What I want to do now is apply a nice 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch bead along this whole top of this board, because that's really what's going to make the waterproof. And this face is kind of just a surface splash, but foam to foam with the sealant, 100% waterproof. So make sure this top is nice and clean. Give it a quick wipe. Apply your sealant, squish it down, fasten everything on. once you get your board down, make sure you push it in well so that sealant's oozing out. Now before you wipe it flat with a putty knife, whatever you prefer to use, you want to fasten the board completely. You want to make sure you use their fasteners, and their max spacing on each fastener is 12 inches with a 16 on center maximum stud spacing for this 1/2 inch board. So like I said, fasten everything down, then wipe it clean. Now with their sealant, you want to apply on all the fastener holes. Okay, now once you got the whole board completely fastened, you want to make sure you spread out that sealant nice and flat before it starts drying up on you. Okay, now how this system works when you're using the sealant method, which I'm using here, is anytime the foam meets another piece of foam, for it to be waterproof, it has to have a sealant. If you put these boards together and apply the sealant on the face afterwards, it will not work. Essentially, you want all the foam glued together with the sealant. So it's meeting that corner of the wall. I applied a bead going vertically and a bead on the other board coming up. That way when they stick together, that's your waterproofing. When you apply it to the surface, that's just a surface splash. The water will eventually get through there, but when it meets the foam with the sealant, it's not going anywhere further than that. It's completely sealed. So make sure you do that the whole installation. Now with this board, you can waterproof it a few different ways. We're using the sealant method. You can use their liquid applied hydro band membrane, which you put this whole system together and you paint the membrane over the seams with mesh tape. That's another way of doing it. Or if you want to use their sheet membrane, which you thin set over all the seams and the fasteners, which you would use in a steam shower. So whichever you prefer to put it together. Okay, now once you got all your board up, what you want to do is you want to make sure you go through every section to make sure all the fasteners are completely covered in the sealant. Make sure all the seams have about 1 inch to 2 inches of the sealant extending from each way of the seam. So say the seam's in the center, you want about 1 inch one way, inch in the other. Inch to 2 inches, they say on the PDF from Laticrete. Because the water will wick in about 1/2 inch or so from that sealant. So make sure that's spread out sufficiently and you'll have a 100% waterproof shower. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions at all regarding this installation, please leave us a comment or send us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. See you in the next video.